Welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to show some exercises for strengthening the abdominal muscles, and not just strengthening but also to help us to have more control and more awareness about the muscles and the different sets of muscles that we have. Our abdomen actually has 3 layers of muscles and they work in different ways. So they have to be exercised in different ways. Today I'm going to focus mainly on doing this for pregnancy and postpartum. So during pregnancy, eventually the muscles are pushed to the side and um, it's difficult to really access them except for the lower abdominal muscles. But in the very beginning of the pregnancy and up to 20 weeks, you can do this exercise. After 20 weeks, you don't want to lie on your back anymore, and this exercise is on the back. So after that, you would do different exercises. And also, if you're postpartum, just be sure that you talk to your doctor before you start exercising. And if you've had a C-section, usually you will need to wait at least 6 weeks after that for the body to heal enough to be able to do these exercises. All right, so for this exercise, you're going to lie down on your back and you have your feet on the floor to start. And when you think about when you're lying on your back, there's a little bit of a lift in the lower back. There's a curve there, and so the lower back doesn't naturally rest flat on the floor. So we're going to press into that curve and press your lower back into the mat. Really press it down. And when you do, you feel your abdominal muscles contracting deep in the center. And then you're just simply going to release that and let them go. So we'll do that a few times, just pressing down, feeling that center core engage, and then release. And again, press down and release. Okay, so now we're going to make this movement just a little bit more dramatic. And we're going to press the lower back down and we'll lift the tailbone, but we don't lift very high. Notice that my waist and everything above the waist is staying on the floor. It's just the pelvis tilting up. And then I'm going to press the tailbone down and accentuate that lower back curve. Lift the lower back. And we're going to go back and forth between those two. So it's a pelvic tilt. You're just tilting the pelvis back and forth. And again, you should feel the muscles contracting deep in your abdomen. Now, if you're feeling any pain or strain with this, especially if you're postpartum, then you should stop doing it and talk to your doctor and rest more before you start again. But if it feels okay, you can keep going. And then we're going to do the same thing, tilting the pelvis, but we're going to tilt side to side. So you're just slightly lifting the right and then the left hip. And you should feel contraction deep in the muscles in the side that you're pressing down. And you're just going to come back to center, relax for a moment. So also if you're feeling pain or strain with these, you can do fewer of them. Do it until you feel you've done enough and then gradually work your way up to doing more. We're going to put those 4 movements together and do a circle. So we'll press the lower back down and then the right hip and then the tailbone and then the left hip. So we're circling the pelvis, lower back, right hip, tailbone, and the left hip. And again, lower back and the right hip, tailbone, and the left hip. And relax. And we're going to circle now the other direction. So we're going to press the lower back, left hip, the tailbone, and the right hip. Lower back, left hip, the tailbone, and the right hip. One more. Press the lower back down, the left hip, the tailbone, and the right hip. And just relax. Take a few breaths. So it's also a good idea just to stretch out after doing these. So you can lift your feet up, wrap your arms around your shins, hug your legs in, relax your abdomen, relax your back, take a couple deep breaths just to let go of any tension that might have built up there. In the next exercise, we're going to bring the shins parallel to the floor. Place your hands by your sides and press your lower back in again. Now we're going to keep the lower back pressed in. So you're keeping those abdominal muscles engaged, and move your knees back and forth. Really focus on keeping the back pressed down. And then you can move your knees in a circle. Really focus on keeping the back pressed down again. And circle the other way. And again, you're going to come to center. Just hug your legs in and relax. And one last exercise. So this one is a bit more strenuous. We're going to take the legs up, and you can either have your legs up straight, or if this is too intense for you, bend the knees like this, or you can repeat having the feet down. Okay, so this is the gentlest one. This is kind of in the middle. This is the most intense. You're going to have your hands by your sides, and again, you're going to lift the tailbone and then lower it down. Notice again that I'm not lifting above the waist because I really want to isolate those lower abdominal muscles. And you can try to make this movement as smooth as possible. Try to eliminate any jerkiness from the movement. And that's how you really gain that control. Do just a few more. Lower down with control also. Bring your feet to the mat. Take your feet out to the edges of the mat, knees together in the center. And just relax. Breathe deep, let your abdomen relax. If it feels good to you, you can again hug your legs in. And then we'll roll over onto the side. Just rest on your side for a couple of breaths. And come up to a seated position. Thank you. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Namaste.